Well, good morning. I'm doing another reshape. Yeah, I wish when you start doing these earthworks and swells and ditches and stuff like that, the biggest mistake I'd made was not building it where you can mow over it. And I don't know why that's just not on the top of people's heads. I mean, I see swells all the time with like little cliffs and stuff. And at the time, I just took, like what I always do, just take my skid steer and go back and forth, and I ended up with cliff walls here. Anyway, I've been last couple of weeks, I've just been slowly re-sculpting it, and then to hold its shape, I went ahead and just sprung and bought some Bermuda grass just to keep a rainstorm from coming in and washing out what I did. Although I don't know that we're ever going to get rain. I mean, let me kind of pan around. I mean, you can see right here, that's pretty much how everything is right now, just super dry. It's been, the last couple of days have been 107 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, I looked it up for the Europeans and foreigners, that's 41.67 degrees Celsius. Anyway, we're in a little scorcher here, and the only hope for any kind of rain is going to be a hurricane. Anyway, so today I've been re-sculpting it, and I got another issue, which is, that's my well right here. So whenever we have to get it serviced, they got to get a truck over there. So I've got it re-sculpted. Now I'm going to start damming up, so I have a flat area for a truck to get to service that. So I'm putting dirt in right here and kind of sloping it down, very gradual. Like I said, that gives me a place for the well pump guy to get the well out of the water, or out of the ground. Anyway, the other part of this is I'm getting the dirt off of my Hugel culture, which was, I was thinking about this, it's at least 5 years old. It was built in 2018 or 2019. I'm not big on Hugel cultures at all, at least not for our environment. But we're gonna be 5 years in, digging one up, and let's see what happens to the wood underneath. But I got a feeling it's not going to be impressive. I mean, honestly, what I consider a Hugel culture is a place to, I don't like to burn brush, that kind of stuff. I like to use it. So putting it in a Hugel culture allows it to break down, whether it's a year or 5 years or 10 years. It creates in my opinion, it creates very good soil for you down the road. I don't believe in it as a Hugel culture. I believe in it as a method to develop good soil. So in that respect, it's not a bad thing. But I am talking about my climate, my environment. There's probably plenty of people up in northern latitudes with rain that say they're great. I'm not here to contradict that. I'm just saying in my environment, I don't believe it's a good deal at all. Anyway, let's go look at the Hugel culture, and let's start scooping some dirt out. We're going to place it here, and let's see what the underlying limbs and stuff look like in that Hugel culture. Okay, well, I took one scoop out of here, and yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with the rotting going on. This is cedar, or ash juniper for sure, which is the hardest thing to break down. And I picked this up expecting to see nothing, but yeah, it's definitely rotting. And I'm smelling it just to confirm, but based on the bark and the way it's peeling, yeah, this is definitely ash juniper. Very light, very spongy, so definitely doing the job of breaking everything down. I had a feeling I was going to have to dig out all the ash juniper, but let's take a little look at this. I'm not sure if I ever really showed it to you. Let me try to climb up on top here. We had a lot of holes, and then I think animals ended up going into them. See if I can show that to you. Anyway, I was adding, we would get the chips from the guys doing the tree trim, and I would come back and add chips to it to kind of fill in these holes. But I think there were some oh shit. Okay, too many holes up top. I'm getting down off the top. There wasn't an animal in there. Anyway, you see that hole right there? I just stepped through and fell through that hole. Well, there wasn't an animal. Anyway, I didn't do a whole lot to this thing, but I was throwing chips in to fill the holes in, and any kind of seeds, like I went through my seed collection. Anything that was 2 years old, I just took them out of my my seed case and threw them out over here, but really didn't do a whole lot up here. We did get some native stuff growing, and honestly, you know, I'm looking at it, I can't say it's any better or worse than the flat ground here, but it was probably 6 to 7 feet tall, and now it's 3 to 4 feet tall. We'll take another peek here, but I wanted to show you that little fall up on there. Look at all these stickers. Anyway, all my jeans are covered in them. We call these hitchhikers. I don't know what y'all call them. I got a feeling geographically they're called different things. They're easy to get off, but they're almost like Velcro. They just stick on you. You know, if you have them, what do y'all call them? I'm just kind of curious. Let's step out, take a look. I got, I think, 3 shovel loads taken out so far. Had a couple of rocks, so I want to get them out. You know, and I'll say one more thing. You know, maybe I'm looking if there's any moisture here. Little bit of moisture once you get to the bottom at ground level, not a whole bunch. But maybe the one thing that, you know, sours people is over optimism of stuff. You know, when hugelkulturs first got promoted, it was like, you know, grow a food forest in the desert with only 10 inches of rain, that kind of stuff. I mean, any reasonable person would say no, that's not possible. Maybe with irrigation, but they overhype the product, and which ends up being, you know, disappointing people, I guess. Anyway, all this stuff is very light, no weight to it. You can tell it's rotting out, and it doesn't matter if it's bugs eating it or what, as long as it's rotting. But yeah, I'm not. Well, here's a piece of oak, which I would have thought would have broke down a lot faster than the cedar. Anyway, you can tell it's disintegrating. I mean, I'll probably look at it one more time. I'm just curious if there's moisture. I'm probably still 4 inches above grade right here, but as soon as I get it down, I want to check. But like I said, hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. Just, it's not a bad thing. It just, when it's overhyped and over promoted as this miracle thing, and it's not, that sours a lot of people on the product. So I guess being realistic on things is the way to go, or just use your common sense. Like I said, if 10 inches of rain ain't gonna keep anything moist for a year or through 100 days of 100-degree weather kind of deal. I mean, just, I think any reasonable person can say that ain't gonna happen. Anyway, let me keep going on it. Okay, I think I've got 5 or 6 bucket loads on here right now. I don't know if you can see it, but got a good little cliff wall right here. So I'm gonna keep piling it up and then just kind of taper it down. Like I said, the goal is for a Super Duty size truck to be able to back up to this right here, which is the well. I'm gonna pile it up right now. There's a lot of chips in here, so I'm thinking it's gonna start decomposing, but I'm gonna build it up. I'm probably gonna, if I can get some more sod, I'll get it sodded so that on the first rain I don't have erosion. But I believe this whole thing is gonna start compacting because of all the wood chips in it, but that's fine. I'll have to go back and figure out what to do for an overflow. I mean, I may get the, once it's all done, I may come back and get the excavator and just trench out and put a culvert to have it dump kind of on the other side of this fence here. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'll deal with that later. We've got a pretty good amount moved out. I'm still working on it, but wanted to comment about something else. So, let me see if I can, that oak tree right there is just below the dam, and basically before that pond was built, I mean, that was a ravine, and that ravine was getting deeper and deeper and deeper and cutting into that oak tree where it's gonna like start exposing roots and stuff. So that's an area I showed previously, but that whole little ravine area on the other side of the dam, I'm trying to add topsoil, but I want to do it slowly. I mean, I just, like if you had an oak tree and you just added 12 inches of dirt around it on an established oak tree, I think that affects everything underneath. The feeder roots are now, you know, way down under the ground, not at the surface where they need to be, that kind of stuff. So I'm building soil there, but I'm doing it slowly, and I'm doing it by just throwing wood in there and letting it break down. So all this, where this was perfect, this hugelkultur was actually built when we built this pond. The extra dirt, you know, that came out from excavating the pond and the trees that had to come down, all of that went to this. So it was great that we did it. We didn't have to burn it or haul it off or anything, and we're not in wood burning stove country. I mean, our winters are typically pretty mild, so we're not heating our homes with it. Anyway, so it was great to do this. Like I said, it creates good soil down the road, but I got a valid use for this now, which is putting it down by that oak tree. So I'm just recycling this again for a bigger need that I have, if that makes sense. Anyway, let me keep adding to this front of my house. I'm getting pretty close. I've got a rock there and a rock there, and I've got that log over there. I'll pull them out. But I want to say something else about this Bermuda grass. I know it's a southern thing, but you know, it's a great pasture grass, and the reason it's great is you can't kill it. It's bad when it gets into your garden for the same reason you can't kill it. Anyway, so even you don't have to be real precise with this stuff, because if you're uneven, or back over here I've got this divot where it's probably 4-inch drop. Anyway, I can take dirt, fill that 4 inches of dirt in there, and the Bermuda will just come right up back through it. So you can, I mean, honestly, once a grass is established, I could spread 4 inches of dirt on top of that grass. It's just going to come up through it. I mean, you can't kill it, period. So even if I plant this, whether I seed it or sod it, and it ends up sinking and sinking, I got to raise it up 4 inches, I'll just spread more dirt on top of it. I mean, that's a pretty good thing about Bermuda. And in my area, I mean, some people may say, hey, you don't need to introduce Bermuda. Bermuda's already here. I mean, I've got houses on 3 sides of me, and all 3 sides I get their rain, and they all have Bermuda, and the rain brings Bermuda onto my property. I mean, it's taken over a little bit. It's just taken over. Luckily, I've been able to grow winter grass with it. I mean, I've just taken a deer food plot mix and just throw it on top of the Bermuda, and it comes through, whether it's wheat, oat, peas, brassicas. I mean, I'm able to get a good winter grass down here in the south through the Bermuda. All right, well, here's the hugelkultur. I'm pretty much done with it. I kind of caught the edge of it because all the bulk of the wood was in the middle. But like I said, I'll be scooping up the middle, taking it to that spot I was telling you about on the other side of the oak tree. Anyway, I didn't even get, I mean, I don't think I even got 10% of the dirt that's in here, which is great because I'll be able to use it in other places. But that's what it looks like after I'm done. And I'll show you the settlement pond in front of my house, and then we'll close this video out. All right, so this is what we got. Like I said, last few weeks, you can see where I've done 2 different sculpting. I did this, put half a pallet of sod down, then did half a pallet of sod. So the final leg is just sloping it back up. And I think I'm pretty good. I mean, may end up bringing some more dirt in, but I think I'm pretty much going to call this done. I'm not sure if I'm going to sod it or seed it. I think I can throw some hay on here and throw some Bermuda seed on here. It's close enough to the house where I got water where I can keep it irrigated to get it established. Anyway, I think it's going to work. Like I said, I will have to come back and get some kind of overflow. I mean, it's not important that I do it now, but I'm thinking coming out from this corner here with some kind of overflow, but I'd almost like to use a culvert. Anyway, so this, when it rains, this will fill up, hold water, soak it into the ground. If it overflows, like I said, I plan on probably a culvert here running through. We're probably a month and a half from any chance of getting rain at this point, so I don't have to get in a big hurry. Back on the Hugel, never did find any moisture. I mean, I got down to ground level, there's no moisture there. So like I said, it's a recap on my thoughts about a hugelkultur. It's great for storing soil and using up wood debris to create great soil later down the road. As far as growing a food forest in a desert, I'm not convinced of that, never have been. But, you know, if you know any true successes, I'd love to hear about it. Anyway, I think at that point, I think I'm signing off here, and y'all have a great day.